Peter Katz lead the pledge, and then we're going to go over some things with everybody. So, here you go.
Can I have everybody stand and place their hand over their heart or use a military salute? The flag is to my right. And while you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, please keep in mind our troops overseas and our first responders out in our neighborhoods to keep us safe. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Hello, my name is Ruby Wu, and I'm going to be doing a few of the housekeeping and thank yous to the donations that we have gotten tonight. The restrooms are in the front of the building, right next to the reception desk. We have snacks and refreshments. Please help yourselves. And I want to say thank you to Scott and the downtown business. You want to say something? For their donation, it was very kindly to get served food today.
Hello, I'm Scott Levy. I'm actually new to Santa Ana. I've been here for about 6 months, and I've started as the downtown Santa Ana restaurant district manager. So my job is to help promote local food and local restaurants, and I've been a champion for that. And that's why we have the Pizza Press. We have Mimi here from the Pizza Press today, and we have Marco from Ceja-Villa's serving out the frescas. They have great juice and bagels. On the way out today, we have a Black Market Bakery baking up some dessert for you to take a bite as you leave tonight. So I just want to thank those restaurants for donating their time and they're serving great food. Next month is Savor Santa Ana, which is a great opportunity for all the small restaurants you can go to Santa Ana and just have a tiny bite from a bunch of different restaurants. It's October 13th on a Saturday from 5:30 to 9:30, and that's what I'd like to invite everyone to come and join us at. Thank you very much.
And I'd also like to thank the Delhi Center for sharing their facilities with us tonight. Delhi Center has a wonderful fundraiser on November the 16th. And Jenny, do you want to say a few words? I hope it's a fun night. Please explain.
Thank you, Ruby. Welcome everybody to Delhi Center. It's great to see you all here. Great to see the candidates. I told them to behave, so we'll have a really great forum here and a debate. And on November 16th, Friday, November 16th, mark that down on your calendar. It's our one and only fundraiser that we have. It's the Zocalo Fiesta. It's just a really fun, casual night. You don't have to get all dressed up. Just come as you are. Well, most of you can come as you are. But anyway, you can get dressed up a little bit and just come and have fun. We'll have a live music. We have loteria. We have all kinds of fundraisers. Lots of really, really delicious food, and it's a really great event. So hope to see you there. Also, if you're interested in any information about Delhi Center, please see us at the front desk, because we do use Delhi Center as a venue for all your meetings, community meetings, business meetings, trainings, that sort of thing, or even anybody want to have a wedding or a quinceañera or something like that. We do use the center as a venue. So again, welcome to Delhi Center, and thank you all for the candidates and everybody here to help us get out the vote and help us make some good decisions for the city of Santa Ana. Thank you.
Also, I want to thank Arthur Joseph for being a translator, building healthy community, also contributing, and human relations with the headset. So we couldn't do the translation without this group, and we thank them very much. We reserve the center until 8 p.m. We must keep our schedule. Please make your remarks brief, no booing, cheering, whistling, or please silence your cell phone, please. So we can all be out by 8:05. Also, we do need a little help with the cleaning up, so please clean up your cups. It would be really appreciated. So thank you very much.
Okay, well, let's begin. There's been a little change in the plan. We're planning a mayor's debate, but evidently Miguel Polico is in Mexico City. So, what we're going to do, I imagine Sal Tinajera is going to be here, and so I think the best route would be to take some audience questions for Sal. So, and then we'll give the council candidates a little extra time before I'm asking some questions. So you can get to And I apologize if this is last minute. I thought he was going to be here. So anyway, we'll be going, Pete Katz and I are going to moderate the forum. And so everyone's going over the guidelines for the dress, right? Everyone's going over. Okay, we have to be nice. We have to be nice to each other. And, oh, and want to thank Art Pedrosa, who is translating for us, Spanish translation. Thank you, Art. Thanks to everyone that's helping out here. Oh, can't hear you? Okay, sorry, I'm talking to my. Anyway, okay, so let's begin. We're going to have Pete Katz ask the first question. First, though, can I have the committee members stand up or raise their hand?
Opening statement.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I did that last time, too. Sorry. Anyway, the committee members, can I get them to stand up just to thank them? And I know there's some out there, too. Let's see, Ruby, Trish, Carl. We really appreciate them. Okay, yes, opening statements. That's how we begin. So let's begin at the end. Alfonso, go ahead, just introduce yourself, and you have 60 seconds, and if we have time, we'll hear you probably to make your opening statement.
Well, okay. Thank you for having me here. I've been living in Santa Ana for about 15, 16 years. I was born and raised in the Bay Area. I came here to go to school, Chapman University. I met my wife. I have plans to go back, but I met her and I'm here forever. And I do love the city genuinely a lot, and there's a lot of changes that it has been happening. The downtown area, the housing crisis, the homeless crisis. Professionally, I've been working for a nonprofit, which we work with the VA, HUD, and other nonprofit agencies in the county to eradicate or eliminate homelessness. We do a lot of outreach, very intensive. One of the reasons why I'm running is because I think we need, a vision. The city needs a vision, so we all know what are the rules, right? What's going to happen in downtown, where the new development will be going. I live, and Ward 2 is changing a lot. I see different changes, and I think I need to know personally, as big as you guys, as what is the plan for the future, the roadmap for Santa Ana, and I would like to implement such a vision with your support. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ceja Iglesias. My friends call me Ceci, so I'm among friends. You guys call me Ceci. I am a board member right now for the Santa Ana School District. The reason I'm running for city council is because they're trying to tax us to death. One thing that I believe is important here in Santa Ana is for us to keep our costs at a minimum with the resources that we already have. One thing that I am committed to is asking those tough questions when it comes to holding people accountable for the resources that we have as a city and as a resident. I'm always out here to support the residents, looking out for you. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a 1.5 increased sales tax initiative on the ballot, Measure X, and I am one of the candidates that is fighting against it because it's not fair. Santa Ana, we pay enough taxes already, and I believe that we can do more with what we have. We just have to hold people accountable.
Good evening, my name is Paul Gonzalez. Thank you everybody for being here tonight and giving us a chance to introduce ourselves to you. I'm running for city council because over the course of the last 2 decades, this city has given me tremendous opportunities, and I'm invested in the city and committed to ensuring that future generations also have the same access to opportunity that I have. I come to the table with a 20-year background in professional financial services, so I know that I have the business acumen and the leadership skills that are necessary to collaborate with my colleagues on the council and deliver extraordinary results for our city. When I'm elected, I will be an advocate for everyone in our community. I will start by working with our neighbors to address homelessness. We'll increase investment in affordable housing. We'll explore policies to secure the rental environment for those who rent their homes, and will invest in youth programming and access to open space.
I'll wait for a cue to start. Okay, go. First I wanted to start out by thanking you for taking your time to be here. We talk about that in the beginning, but we kind of overrun that. But if you really think about it, time is the most valuable thing we truly possess. You could have intentionally been someplace else, but you took time out of your schedule to be here. Why? Because this election is important to you. Because you want to hear from the candidates exactly what they're saying. And for that, for participating in democracy, I want to thank you for your time in doing that. Myself, my name is Roman Reyna. I was born at Santa Ana Community Hospital in 1969. My families have been in the city for generations, going all the way back to the 20s. And I've been utilizing my time by sitting in a variety of committees, including creating my own neighborhood association, so that we can give residents a vehicle, a voice to share their concerns with City Hall, so that every resident have that. I ended up creating 3 other neighborhood associations and became the vice chair of Comedy. I moved on to the Federal Empowerment Zone. I was the chairman of the Federal Empowerment Zone to help stimulate the economy here locally in Santa Ana. I was also part of the Weed and Seed, which has created the changes in our community. I'm running because I care.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you all for being here. I'm Sandra Pena Sarmiento. I'm a Santa Ana native, and I'm also an arts commissioner and a neighborhood leader for East Side Neighborhood. I attended local schools here, Monroe, Roosevelt, St. Anne's, Mater Dei, Mr. Mater Dei is recently. Before going on to college over in San Diego at UCLA, and then I did my master's over at my undergrad at UC San Diego and my master's at UCLA. I stayed in Los Angeles to work in film and television and Spanish language TV for almost 2 decades. I worked for Univision and Telemundo and special projects for Luis Miguel, Maria Conchita Alonso, and Rage Against the Machine. Even though I've had a lot of success and good success creatively and professionally outside of the city, I chose to come back to Santa Ana and help my hometown flower to its full potential. So I stand for, okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening. Thank you all for being here. I know this is very important, and like he's mentioned, it's a big election. I'm glad you're all here. My name is Myrna Velasquez, your candidate for Ward 6, Santa Ana City Council. And I wanted to let you know a little bit about me. I was born and raised here, went to school, elementary, junior high, high school, and then ventured off to get my master's degree. I'm a business owner and an educator. I'm family, married, happily married with 5 children. But most importantly, the business that I have created is basically I go in, I audit businesses, I create revenue for them. And that's why I wanted to run for Santa Ana City Council, because I want to create revenue for the city. I want to bring back the quality of life and bring public safety back and make it to where we don't have to tax our residents, where we don't have to have these issues. Homelessness, the landscape, it's just become that, and we need to put a stop to it. We need to start now, and this is the time. So please, reach out to me. Thank you for your consideration. Thanks for being here.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here. My name is David Penaloza, lifetime resident of Santa Ana and product of our school district, Saddleback High, class of 06. My mom widowed and raised all my older brothers alone and kept a roof over our head and put us through college, so God bless her, she's in the room. I'm a graduate of Cal State LA, and I've had my entire professional career in a manufacturing company here in Santa Ana. I was hired in 2008 to file paperwork just right before the Great Recession, the greatest financial crisis since the Great Depression. Introduced innovative policy and ideas to our company to move them into the 21st century. I was worried that people would lose their jobs throughout that time, and I was able to save the company a lot of money and time by integrating their ERP system to facilitate their production. Was in charge of our company to accredit our company to international standards, and convinced the higher-ups to upgrade all their dot matrix printers, which they still had. I want to move.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bill Becerra. My family has been in Santa Ana since the 1930s. They started in Artesia Pilar, eventually moved their way over to a little neighborhood we now know as Riverview West. My wife and I have lived in the city most of our lives. We live in Ward 4, where we've lived for 5 years, not 5 weeks, not 5 days. I've served on the Planning Commission here in Santa Ana previously for 5 years. I went to USC and got a degree in urban planning and development. In my career, I've worked with cities both large and small, and I've now worked on the other side of the counter helping folks navigate through the bureaucracies of various city halls. So I'm very aware of what best practices we need in City Hall, and I hope to deliver that as your Ward 4 Council member. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank every single one of you because it shows that you care. You can see the faces that are going to be representing you in the City Council. My name is Irma Macias, resident of Santa Ana for 44 years. I can raise 5 of my sons, ages 22, 38 to 44. I'm sorry. I have resided in Santa Ana in my career home for 33 years. So, just like my friend said, it's not 3 days, 30 days or 2 months. I understand what the issues are in our community. As a mother, primarily raised my sons and volunteer. I used to work for Santa Ana Unified School District part-time, and after that I raised my sons. And volunteering since then I built a career volunteering. Work for enforcement, police volunteer, neighborhood associations, and at this moment I'm running for Santa Ana City Council District 2.
Good evening, everyone. Miguel May Gonzalez, thank you all for being here this evening. I was born in East LA, raised in Guadalajara. At the age of 17 years old, I decided to come here to Santa Ana. I went to Lincoln Adult Center to learn English, ESL as a second language. I graduated, then I take some classes of speech and pronunciation in Rensselaer College. Then I started working some part-time hours in Taco Bell. I was homeless at that time for over 2 months. I built myself until I become a security guard. Then I started my own company. I own a security guard company for over 28 years. It's called Santa Ana Security Services. I own a couple of restaurants here in the city of Santa Ana, Mexicanísimo and Zócalo. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to Connect to Council for organizing this event for us, and it will give our residents an opportunity to recognize us and get an opportunity to listen to our views. My name is Nelida Mendoza. I'm running for Ward 6. I've lived in Santa Ana since we immigrated in 1965, so what seems to be the theme of tonight is not 5 months, not 5 days, but over 50 years. I know you're probably saying, she's not even that old. But I truly love Santa Ana, and the reason I'm running for here is because I know the city, I know the residents, and I know you. I know the youth. I'm a teacher. I'm with the Santa Ana Unified School District, and I want to bring that back. Santa Ana's motto a few years back was education first. Well, with education, we can get a lot of success, and that includes in business, in getting our parks safer, and bringing all that and vibrancy back to our beautiful city. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Okay, now you heard the nice introductions. We're going to get into the meat of the questions. My name is Peter Katz, and I'm with Comlink and president of Comlink's board. We have distilled a lot of questions. I'm a resident of 55 years in this city. We received questions from both the media, the residents, those that were written, those that were called in. There were numerous questions. We distilled them down to 10 key questions facing this city. and we're going to get to the meat of the matter. We're going to start at the very end with the leader here, we're going to work down, and then come back again, so it speeds this up a little bit. And you have 1 minute to answer these questions. The first one is, the density of the city continues to rise, and new projects going in with very little input from the residents of the city on how we deal with the density, the traffic, public safety, and our schools that this density is affecting. So we want each candidate to see how are they going to deal with that. All we're doing is building more units, but we're not creating affordable housing, and we're moving our residents out of the city.
My understanding is that whenever there's a new project, that indeed the neighborhoods are invited to participate and put in their information. So if the residents are not getting the information, then there's a reason that maybe we have some miscommunication here. But every time there's been a project, I've always been informed, so we need to take action. And you know how it is with the voters. It's like, oh, I'm not going to go, it's not going to affect me, but it does affect us. So what I'm saying is that business is good for Santa Ana. We need to be pro-business because you know what that means? More money for us. It means more business. They're paying property taxes, and in addition, what we could do is require the businesses to have some kind of green space that they will maintain and pay for forever and ever and ever. That means if the property is sold, it doesn't matter. That park that they built right next to the complex, that park continues to be maintained by that business, even if it's sold. So business is good. We need to be pro-business because when they make business, we make business.
Obviously, we need to participate. We need to encourage more people to get to know what's going on in the city. I believe we as a city, we need to notify the residents about what's going on, to maybe start looking for more leaders in the community to help out with the flyers. We need more communication. That's what we need. To get organized, we need to participate in every single things that the city is doing, because all we need is to get organized. Maybe by, well, like I said, we need to get organized, to look for more leaders in the community. There's a lot of people that wants to participate. There's a lot of people that wants to do something for our community. They want to do something for our city, but they don't know how. Even though I said at the beginning, I want to work with every single people in the community in the city of Santa Ana. Why? It doesn't matter brown, yellow, white, undocumented, with everybody. Thank you very much.
Well, we're talking about the density of the city. Some people say we have 350,000 residents in Santa Ana. I think we have a little bit more than that. And Santa Ana has an issue of overcrowding that we need to fix, we need to address as soon as possible. How do I do that? I'm a volunteer with code enforcement, and I can assure you of the problem is there. How we're going to fix it is going to take about 7 heads put together and get the revenue, the funding, the businesses, the citizens, the residents of this city to come together. And if we're going to stay and live in Santa Ana and we call Santa Ana our home, we have to come to our meetings. I have been with the public for 10 years, and it is very well attended. You cannot say that it is because of the lack of support. Thank you.
Well, one of the first things that I did when I served on the Planning Commission was tackle transparency. We were meeting in multiple locations, depending on the meeting, people didn't know where we were. I found that that was important to address. As a council member, I want to continue that. I want to make sure that folks feel welcome at these meetings. You go to city council meetings, public comments at the end. What does that tell you? There isn't a desire to have your input heard. And I want to make sure that it's heard. In regards to density, Santa Ana Unified is doing a great job with graduates, and they're going on to prestigious schools. And then where do they move back to?
Turn down your volume when you're controlled. You're getting a lot of feedback.
Okay. So we have all these folks that are graduating, and then where do they move to? They don't come back home to Santa Ana. They're moving to Tustin, they're moving to Irvine, where there's new market rate housing. We can't keep letting our youth leave the city. So I would say that we've got to be more proactive in how we plan this housing, but we do need quality housing. Thank you.
One of the issues here in the city is that I don't think the city does enough public outreach to the public. When the Curry Council does things like Connect to Council or whatnot, like the last one we had here at this location for Ward 1, the council member leaves right before the Q&A and leaves the staff to handle the mass crowds and the public. That's not appropriate. You know, as a council member, I'm here to answer to you, to all of you guys. You know, we need to have that communication with our residents that elect us to move this city forward. We talk about density. Yes, our city is dense, but when you're driving around this city and more than half of the buildings you see around you are sitting there empty spaces, abandoned, taken over by homeless because we don't, our general plan is outdated. We don't do enough for planning, it takes too long, and we need to move these things forward to capitalize on what we can do and grow the city in the right direction. There's so many ways that could, that there's areas in the city where we could grow. We need the housing, we need the,
So with the density, you know, I was born and raised here. I moved away for a little bit, but when I ran in 2014, I came back because, yes, it is density. It's something where now, at this point, we have to build up. We have to create the quality of life. We can't just let it be. We have to realize that the parking issues, we need your voice. We need you to vote. We need you to come out, give your input. All of the ideas of the residents that have been here for a very long time, that has to be inputted with city council so that we collaboratively can create something better for our residents. You're absolutely right. It's dense. And there's other places where it's been streamlined, where parking is not an issue. We need to do that here. We need to make sure that everybody together can figure out a way for the parking issues, the density, and everything else. But we do need to make sure that we keep the quality of life, regardless of what it is.
Okay, so we're talking about housing density. From what I know, there's hundreds of already packaged developments on the horizon. They're just, you know, taking their time coming in. I think we can only have the capacity to approve about 5 or 10 per month or so for each planning meeting. I think it's important that every development that comes in, especially those that receive city money, have clear community benefits. They might be parks, they might be public art, they might be providing you know, space for our nonprofits or for our community groups, but there has to be a very clear community benefit. We also do have something called the Housing Opportunity Ordinance, which sets aside 15% of all market rate housing for affordable housing, and I would, of course, continue that program. And I would especially target special needs communities like the elderly, like veterans, and to build dedicated housing for those communities so we don't have them vulnerable out on the streets and suffering from housing insecurity. I'd also update our general plan and designate our cultural treasures as historic. Thank you.
Thank you. Roman Reyna, candidate for Ward 4. You know, as we talk about density and we talk about affordable housing, you know, we heard a lot of the candidates talking about we need to better educate our community, that our communities to be informed so that they can share their concerns one way or the other. Well, legally, technically, anytime there's a new development, the developer only needs to reach out 500 feet. And those are the only residents that find this stuff out. Everybody finds out secondhand. We need to expand that so it reaches out further than that. This is exactly why right now we need experienced leadership at this next city council. We can't afford to have rookies up there that don't know what they're doing. Right now, more so than ever, experience is going to bring to the table how to solve these problems. Roman Reina, Ward 4, thank you very much.
So with respect to the density, I agree with a lot of what's been said already. We need to expand and grow our housing stock. And to do that, we need to update our general plan to make sure that it is equipped to get us through the 21st century. It was written in the middle of the 20th century, and it's far outdated. We also need to strengthen our housing opportunity ordinance. We need to maximize the community benefits that are being incorporated into developments. We also need to increase the incentives for including affordable housing on site. It's heartbreaking to me that it's more lucrative for developers to pay the in lieu fee than to include affordable housing in their developments, and we need to incentivize the inclusion of those units. And then we also need to invest in active streets to ensure that as our city grows, it is navigable and that we have adequate parking and that our residents can move without freeway.
Celia Iglesias, candidate for Ward 6. Regarding the density and also the affordable housing, I believe that we have to have an honest conversation with the entire city and the entire residents. It seems that most of the time it's where it's already highly impacted. That's where many of our projects are going. And I know I live in Windsor Village Neighborhood Association because we have a lot of apartment complexes where we live, then the parking is affected into the residents that own their homes. So I think we have to have those honest conversations on where we're going to be placing them. I know the city is growing on the west end of Santa Ana. There's a lot of housing that's going up on Harbor and New Hope, and I know it's growing over there. And I just know that if we have those conversations and really look as a city, where is the best place to put these projects, and at the same time speak to the business owners and incentivize them to come and invest with us, that would be great.
Thank you. Alfonso, Ceja-Villa for Ward 2. The respective density and traffic congestion, I'm a firm believer that we need to update the general plan to create a new vision and a new plan so we all know where these high-density buildings will be located, in the downtown area or Harbor or First or Grand, those type of neighborhoods. Quick fact, Santa Ana is the fourth largest density city. There's 12,000 people per square mile. There's 4 residents per each dwelling unit, and we're a very young city, and we need to start having this discussion sooner than later and get this under control, and so we also know what density project will be where and what time and how and the whole process. I really believe that right now is the time. I have some good ideas, and hopefully I'll be able to share them with